I mean, you just start me. Whatever. Fuck it.
Hey, my name is Lennie Quest, 19 from Mount Pleasant, Iowa. This is Broke Boys interview. Let's get it.
Make you wanna fuck like a Marvin Gaye.
I already know what it is.
Get you in the truck, girl, it's time to ready. To tell the truth, I didn't plan on being with you. I'ma G down to my car.
You know, Mount Pleasant, a really small, like, farm town. You know, have you guys been there? Yeah. So, like, every summer there's, like, Old Threshers, just a big, like, farm festival. So definitely there's not really a music scene out there, you know. And I've always been into music, been in choir since like the 4th grade. Just always have liked music, and like that's how I really got into music originally. Because you know before I was just like listening to the radio or like listening to old Beatles cassette tapes or Outkast and stuff like that. But just really was singing in like choirs, and that's originally what I thought I wanted to do, was be like a high school choir teacher. Like I've written 4-part choir like pieces and stuff like that, and that's really like what I wanted to do. The first song I ever made, I made in middle school for a girl. I had taken the Lil Wayne How to Love beat, and I had like sung some bullshit over it. I'm sure I still have it on my computer, but I just used the simple DJing software that my aunt had bought me. And so you had like one track on the left, one track on the right, you know, for DJing, because you'd have like the one mix, switch it over. And so I just put the beat on one side, and then I put my voice by itself using like my fucking iPod or some shit on the other side, and then I just like merged the two together. And that's how in middle school how I started making songs. And you know, it was just like a fun thing. Like once I figured out like, well, I can make songs, you know, it was a big deal at the time because no one else knew how to do it. And like all my friends fucked with it, so then I started making dumb songs. Like I was really into Odd Future at that time, so I was making a lot of whack shit. But not saying Odd Future's whack, just saying. But in high school, I had met Jeffrey Kraft with some friends, and he makes EDM music, and he had told me about this guy named Matthew Steffens, who was a couple of years ahead of us, and he said that they were making an EDM record under the name
Summer Failure.
Failure Summer. That Summer Failure is the name of the fucking email that he uses, but yeah, under the name Failure Summer. And I had listened to it, and it was just so different. Like it was nothing like I've heard before. And so I had asked them, like, what would you guys think about like producing for me? And like they were totally down for it. And so that's how like it really started. Like I was doing it for fun, and even freshman year, like it was still like kind of for fun. But Matt, we always like recorded in his shop. It's just like a fucking garage. Like there's deer heads up in there, tools, all like it's the most like garage Iowa type thing that you could imagine. And that's, to this day even, that's what we recorded. And so once we just started really getting into it, I just kind of thought to myself, you know, like, why can't I do this, you know? Like, why can't I pursue this as an actual career? And so I would say freshman or sophomore year, like that's when I really like decided this is what I want to do, and just kind of flipped it. So now I go to school at Millikan University in Decatur, Illinois for music business and commercial music. I'm a double major. But yeah, so really trying to chase it down. You know, there's nothing for me in Mount Pleasant, definitely. And like, obviously there's a scene up here and it's growing rapidly, but I just felt like getting out there, because it's like 3 hours from Chicago. Like I was just up in Chicago a couple nights ago at Young Pinch, So, and I had made like 100 CDs. I was just like handing them out to everyone, handed them out to all the people that opened for them. Gave Young Pinch actually a flash drive because I had taken a backpack full of CDs, and every show's different, but of course they're like, no backpacks. And so I was like, fuck. So I like taken all the CDs and like stuffed my pockets full of them. And I had met him, and I was like, you know, I had thanked him because he was in Des Moines last night. And so I had thanked him for putting Des Moines like on his tour list, like stopping there. Because until recently, like I felt like I was really been slept on. So I thanked him for that, told him I was a rapper from here. I was like, I got my fucking pockets stuffed with CDs, man, you know, just hustling, doing whatever. And he's like, well, you can leave one if you want. And I was like, oh. But I already kind of planned it out because I had made a flash drive like that I wanted to try to give to him. And so I was like, well, I have a flash drive, figured that might be easier for you. So like, before I had even asked him to take it, like he had like said, you know, Young Pinch was like, you can leave one. And so I left him with the flash drive. And the biggest thing is like, I don't want to come off like I'm trying, like, yo, hit me up. You know, like it's nothing like that. Like I'm just literally trying to push the shit like as hard as I can. And so like on the CDs, like in the inserts, I have like my Twitter handle and like my email. But like on the flash drive, I didn't put any of that shit. Because I think it'd be more sincere if like you loaded it up and all it is music. That's all that's on there. Like if he really wanted to talk to me, like it wouldn't stop him. Just all you gotta do is fucking Google Lennie Quest, you know? And so I think it would be way more sincere than like if he opens it up and just like a fucking Word document with like, yo, here's my email, here's my Twitter handle, like, no, fuck that. But it was really dope. It's a really hard balance of like moving in silence, but also like you can't be successful without, you know, like getting shit out there. So it's like the balance of like trying not to seem like a douchebag, but also like, you know, getting out there and not being afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing, you know? And of course, like, there's gonna be people that like, hey, support local hip-hop, you want a CD? And they'll be like, no. It's like, okay. And then, like, I'd go down 2 more people. They're like, hey, support local hip-hop, you want a CD? And they're like, fuck yeah, you know? So, like, there's always gonna be people that don't fuck with you. That's just the nature of anything you do, ever. My actual name is Dalton Crum, K-R-U-M, like, are you into Harry Potter? You know, like Victor Crumb? It's spelled exactly the same. So how that came around, originally my rapper name was Crummy K. Like that's what like my Instagram handle was at the time. And like that's just what it was forever. And me and Matt decided like, you know, so if I'm like making music submissions, like you want a name that might, you know, stand out. And that fucking won't. And so I have a whole like library of books in my room. So we just went to my room and just started fucking taking books off the shelves, looking and like trying to match up words, and I can't tell you how, but somehow Lennie Quest came up. I think it'd be dumb for any white rapper to not say that Eminem is the inspiration, you know? Like that's, especially people our age, you know, like that's what we grew up with. It was like Slim Shady LP, just to where he is at now. Outkast too, listened to a lot of Outkast when I was a kid. Let's see. In middle school, definitely Odd Future. I had a friend show me Frank Ocean in middle school. He was just like, yo, listen to this. And it was crazy. So then I wanted to know everything about him. So that's how I found out about Odd Future. And that's just fucking listening to Tyler religiously. But like, I listened to everyone. Like Earl, Mellow Hype, and Damo, and like everyone in that, Mike G, everyone in that collective, like I just listen to, I just soak that shit up like a sponge. Definitely also in like middle school, Drake and Lil Wayne, the whole Young Money movement, you know, that was what was fucking booming at that time, around like 5th, 6th grade. More recently, definitely Post Malone. Like, cause when I started, you know, all I was doing was rapping, you know, like this whole mixture of like singing, but in rap, like you're a rapper, and I am a rapper, like that's what I say. But like all of my new shit, for the most part, is all like singing stuff. And like really before him, like I had never heard anyone do it like he does it. And same with like Young Pinch, just like that kind of wavy style. Like that's what I'm all about right now. And I don't think I would have been able to really push for that had I not heard people like Post Malone. Young Pinch is more of a recent discovery, but still like same vibes. Also, Logic. Like I could never rap like as fast as him. Like that, he doesn't inspire me in that way. But just like I'm also like a big nerd. Like video games, Star Wars, like all that shit. That's like half of who I am. And so just like the fact that he can do all this rap shit and also like not give a fuck, like he fucking does Twitch videos and like he does videos of like showing his room, and he's like writing a book right now, which I've started a book too, and he's like writing screenplays and just like doing all this other shit that I've always dreamed of doing, but is also a rapper. Like that inspires me heavy, because like it really just shows that like you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, you know. I'd say the reason I make music is to prove not only to myself but to people, especially in this area, that like you can do whatever you want. You know, like all famous people, like, you know, they preach that, but not really any of them from here, you know. Like Ashton Kutcher, he's from Cedar Rapids. You know, that's the only person that really comes.
Slipknot from the
Slipknot, yeah.
Corn.
I don't even know how I forgot about that. Yeah, I wore a Slipknot shirt in my latest video. It's like, I don't know how I forgot about that, because I fuck with them heavy. Like I fuck with metal heavy too. But yeah, like that's a big thing for me. Is like I want to prove to people that like it doesn't matter where you are, where you're from. Like if you have a goal and a drive to do it, like you have to be motivated. You know, you can't just be like, oh, I want to be a rapper, and then just kind of sit on it. Like some people I know, you know, if you fucking want it, you know, go get it. And I've had that mentality a lot of my life. Both of my parents are in the military, and I'm in the military myself. So, like, hard work is something that I've always like been accustomed to, you know. Like I make a lot, like a big variety of music. I have people tell me that like it's very diverse, because I'll have like, you know, the turn up shit, you know, just the shit that like gets people in a good mood. But then I'll have more serious shit. Like I've rapped about stuff like with my biological father, and just stuff that I felt really personal about. I guess I don't have an overall story through my music. I just have like the goal is to make it and to show people from the area that if you want to make it, you can. You just have to work for it. Yeah, so originally it was just me like fucking finding beats on YouTube and just like spitting shit on my iPod, you know, just like that dumb shit. But after I met Matt, he had a Focusrite setup, and he was using Ableton at the time. So we still like weren't really mixing stuff. It was just like his music and my voice, and, you know, you get what you get. We didn't have like any plugins or like, I mean, we had like reverb and like delay, like that was it. But as time went on, we both were acquiring skills, and he, like, his producing just shot up, and just like, I feel like my lyrical talent, and also learning the singing thing, you know, like trying to get into that instead of just making myself rap, because like it's not that the lyrics weren't good or anything like that. I just think I have a better voice for like the singing stuff. Real quick, I want to tell a Cutta story. So I remember the first time I listened to him, Jeff had like showed me on SoundCloud. He's like, yo, have you heard of this guy? I was like, no. And he showed me on SoundCloud. He's like, yo, this guy's from Iowa City. It was Tonight, the one with Logan. And that song just fucking blew me away, because I didn't know people were making that quality of music in the area, you know? Like, that kid's fucking talented. Like, I think we all have talents, but Cutta especially, like, Cutta's he's got something huge. And so like I had reached out to him, but like just with the distance, like no, Mount Pleasant's not that far from here, but just like the logistics of trying to set it up, it just never really worked for a while. But then he had some legal shit going on after he had gotten locked up, and when he came back, he had told me that like it was almost like a new start for him, and he didn't even know if he wanted to do music anymore. And I wasn't really in the know of what all was going on. And so I had I just made this beat. And I was like, man, this shit's fire. I was like, Cutter should be on. So I just emailed it to him. I was like, hey man, like, haven't talked to you in a while. Hope everything's good. Like, you want to get on this? And he had told me, like, me sending him that beat, like that beat specifically, like, is why he's still making music. Like, he said, like, after I got out of jail and I had, like, listened to that, like, it had, like, spoke to him and told him, like, yo, I can't stop. So I was really fortunate to, like, have that impact on him and be able, like, he's ended up being on that song, of course, and he's on my last album, too. So, yeah, that's a real homie. I just wanted to shout that out. Like,
for sure.
I have nothing but love. I was texting him the other day, telling him I had this interview, and we were just talking about a collab that we might be working on and shit. But that's definitely the homie. Hey, my name is Lennie Quest, 19 from Mount Pleasant, Iowa. This is Broke Boys interview.
Make you wanna fuck like a Marvin Gaye. Get you in the truck, girl, it's time to raid. To tell the truth, I didn't plan on being with you. I'ma G down to my car, you want more, but I be switching bitches like The Bachelor. Get that money, make this night something spectacular. Bring one night I'm home, she like the way I bone. A skeleton, I guess, but my soul living in the flesh, and I can't get enough of this. I swear to God, my soul resting.